Welcome to day 303. Hope everyone had a great bank holiday weekend. The Easter, lots of chocolate, lots of calories. We are back on site today with a few things cracking on. So we're getting some paint on the side of the walls, tarting the front up. We're trying to get the top parapet on the wall sorted out. We're taking the cap off of our next door neighbour's wall and potentially looking at going up some blocks on there. We're filling in the door frames and window frames on the cottage. Still two to be done. Plumbers here doing some bits, so we could find out what they're doing. Kitchen fitters have been here putting on some skirting boards and just doing some general admin on that. And hopefully we might see an electrician today because we're hoping to get some power put into certain areas so we can move some things around. So other than that, today is going to be a bit of a move wood, sort stuff and knock into a couple of extra things. So sorry, incoming call. Let me start off by showing you obviously where we are so far. Okay, so here we have this wall here has been tarted up, which is all quite nice. So all of the mortar that was splashed on there has been sanded back and been quickly primed over. First set of primers going on here. I know everyone says don't finish when we're not, obviously, but at the same time we want to see how bad the wall is. And on top of that, just trying to make it look more prettier. We're obviously doing this piece here, which has been left, so all the parapet's been done. That's the only bit left, so we've had the mortar mixed up. That's going on there, and hopefully by the time we get the primer, we'll come around here. We'll better go up that side as well. In here has had a couple of sockets done. So finished mortaring around here, look. And hopefully we'll get the other side done as well. If it hasn't been done already, I think it has, but so these all have been filled in. Over the weekend, we had in here plastered all the way around. So that's been done all the way around, so that's ready for paint as well. Obviously we can't take the formwork down here until about the 28th to the 30th of this month, so we've had to plaster around this boxing here, but that won't be too hard to paste in. Around here at the weekend, they did actually manage to get around to finding the, which is just there, look, the breather for the WC. So we ran that through the concrete all the way along here, but then they forgot where they put it, so I had to chase all of that off. As you can see from this mark here, they literally were banging all along here trying to find where it was. They found it, now they've had to replaster it. So the other thing also is they haven't done up in here for some unknown reason on both sides. That's another thing that's got to get added to the list. Okay, over to the walls. You can see what I mean. So our neighbour's wall at the moment is, thank God, got a beam in it, so we don't have to now take the top off and pour the concrete. Whoever built the wall before did actually think about the strength and actually put a ring beam, as far as I'm aware, across the top and potentially the bottom as well. So as you can see, we took the top off and we just scored into the wall itself just to see how deep the beam was. So we've got a nice solid ring beam going across here that will be tied into the columns, which I said yesterday. So the guys have actually spent the morning just taking the cap off the top. Which you can see is now pretty much got another one more length to go, and then we're pretty much there. And then we can start taking the caps off of the actual columns, and then we can start laying the blocks, and we need to go up 3 courses on there. So that's going to be done. Wood is going downstairs, which is good. Oh yeah. Obviously I showed you the white walls and stuff like that, so we've got a couple of little patches that need to be done where people have been standing on the walls or dragging things over, which is a pain. So that's going to get redone. Glorious day today, by the way. This has had Wellcrete put in onto the sides. We need to obviously just think about what we're going to do with some of these stills in here as well, get those treated. And then we've got to do this as well, so we've got to literally do this whole piece, and then the window frame, the window frame itself that's going to go in here, the ledge, the other one here, you know, the same as what we've done on these ones here. So a little tiny ledge of around about sort of 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch, and a slope for the water to run off, so when the doors and the windows turn up we can actually put them straight on and install. In here, as you know, it's pretty much finished now, apart from obviously sorting out the fan, the ceiling fan. To a certain extent everything in here is nearly done. So we do need to get the actual the walls, this is where the skirting boards will go on. We need to be looking at all of those sooner rather than later, so that's something we'll probably look at getting done in the next couple of days. But other than that, it's just some snagging. Obviously we've always gone around and snagged, obviously it's not a priority at the moment. Hello little minx. So yeah, we are pretty much where we are. So that's what the door frames will look like from the inside. Obviously you've got the concrete there, and the windows will sit down and be screwed stroke siliconed. Certainly silicone this time. Siliconed along and then screwed straight through once they've been plumbed. So that's pretty much where we are with that. In the kitchen, I'll tell you what was done this morning. We're still trying to match the colour that we're going to be needing on the doors. So show you what I did, the first attempt. Now that you've actually got the skirts on, you can see the difference in colour, which is obviously not ideal. So we might have to look at getting these ones taken off and redone. But the skirting has been cut so the dishwasher now opens, which is good. So that's quite simple. So you just pull the dishwasher down, score a line across. Unfortunately, I have to take the skirt and fold back off again in order to get it done. So that's going to have to bend in a bit more. Yeah, so that needs to be finished. Once the colour match is done, then obviously these are going to be drawer fronted, as will these, even though these are going to be behind. So these have been set back a little bit extra, as you can see here. So they'll have drawer fronts on them, and then there'll be doors on the front that'll be the same as these, which I think is 60-40, although I've been told it's 70-30. That is definitely not 30%, I don't think. But anyway, 60-40, 70-30, who's counting? So the skirting boards are on, which you need to straighten them up. The skirting board's been put on the other side. Here, we're still waiting for skirting board to be implemented onto here. I'm potentially going to be taking the dishwasher through here. So this hose here for the, washing machine, through there and connect it to a sink connector, because the connector in there is not very good, and the plumbers still need to put a P-trap on there. They were meant to be obviously doing the balancing of the doors all the way around and the skirting boards, which they haven't done. They're going to try and get that done this week. We're going to get rid of this ugly tumble dryer because we've got one coming from England, and the electricians are meant to be sorting out this power issue here so we can get the washing machine put back. We are meant to be having power cut into here, so we've got power behind it. We need to cut into the Corian, and then we're going to have a double socket put in here so that we can actually we can have power on the ends, whether it be chargers or mosquito zappers or whatever. So we've got power going on that end and power going on that end, which we still haven't had done yet, so that's got to be done. I've had a little bit of a discussion with the doorman today, who is still obviously not committing to turn up and get the doors in. I've talked about the front door. I'm just going to give him an option, really. It's to get the door done and give me a committed date where you're going to get it sorted, or I'm going to have to find someone else to finish it off. But personally, I've told him I think the whole door needs to come off, and the whole door needs to be sprayed properly again, because there's so many gouges and dinks and knocks on it. I just don't see how you can actually get that door redone and put back in place. I mean, look at the size of that gouge. It just gouges everywhere. So the whole door and door frame needs to be repainted, but obviously it has to be filled in sand first. So to get that done in place, I think it's just going to be too much of an ask. So that needs to be taken away and redone and come back. So anyway, he still wants to do the job, which obviously that's what he wants. But at the same time, how long do you wait? It's been 5 months. Today we've got to get the plumber to sort out the leak we've got on the tap here, and this bathroom to a certain extent is nearly done, bar the window and the lock. And he's going to sort the locks today. But doors painted, door frames painted, apart from the lock latch and the lock itself, and the leak we have on that's pretty much done. Oh, and the electrician's got to put in the connect up the mirror. That's one thing on their list they've got to do. Other than that, in here, obviously we've got the extractor coming from England, and it might be worth us looking at actually starting to get the boarding done for that. So maybe the carpenters can start making some form of square framework that we can actually have here, that we can fix and get the tubing and everything in for now, so that it's just a case, as soon as it turns up, it's just a plug in. But so that's something we could probably do. Other than that, that's pretty much where we are. I have one of the plumbers here, so I'll find out what his plans are today. I want to make sure that he goes through the list of stuff I've already given him, because at the moment they're not getting that list complete. So we need to get that list complete, that's for sure. And then I need to get a bobcat in here. I need to start clearing all this out. So I need all of the wood sorted. I need all the wood put downstairs. We're going to start selling what we've got left. Some of the actual 4-foot sides we're taking yesterday. I want to get all of the wood sorted into piles. And then once I've done that, it's literally getting the bobcat to come in here and literally clear all of this. The side return, the front, and then I want the lorry to take away a lot of the garbage that's there. The downside with doing it now is that we're still accruing some crap, which means I'm going to have to pay to get them back, which would be a pain in the backside. So I'd rather get everything done and get them in, get it taken away in one lot. So that's where we are. So I'm going to go and track down the plumber, who I'm seeing going down now. Go and find out what's going on with him, make sure he gets this bloody list sorted out for me. Where are we now? 10 to 11. So I'll check in with you guys a bit later on. Okay, we're at 2:30. Like and subscribe for me, please. Give me some beautiful comments. Any new subscribers, welcome to the channel. Tyson in the pool, acting like he's doing some work. Let's make everybody watch you now, look.
Big trouble, Roy.
You're meant to be filling it, not emptying it. So you're meant to be filling it, not emptying it.
Yeah.
So this is the stagnant water we try and get rid of. Obviously, our every 2 to 3 day task. Trying to get rid of. We don't have the mosquitoes coming and having a play. Oren in the house. Okay, so what we've been doing today. So the wall has had the cap taken off. Let me quickly show you. The front has been tidied up. Okay. So as I said, we've already got a beam in here, as we've seen in here. So we've now taken the cap off. We've scuffed up the tops. We're now going to drill rebar into these. So 2 rebars, 1 either corner. And then we'll do the same one here as well. So rebar along here. Normally go about 20 to 24 inches, but we're doing a course of 3. So we're talking 8 inches per block. So that will be 24. So we'll probably go 20 inch to ensure that the rebar is lower down, to ensure the salt doesn't get hold of the concrete. So it'll be a couple of blocks on here. It'll be 3 on here. It'll be rebar every other block. And we'll have 2 on here, 2 on here, and so on. So that is being done. We still can't find anywhere that can supply rock, by the way, which is very strange. No rock. Okay, this corner is meant to be plastered in, which hasn't been done as yet. Got a bit of a go slow going on today. So that rod's been put on there. We've got some cracking up here, so I'm not too sure what we're going to have to do about that. Probably have to bust that off. A little bit of repairs going on around the building where people have been scuffing stuff or banging stuff. Perfect example. Obviously, as I showed you earlier on, we've obviously filled in here. The outside's been tarted up and the first coat of paint's gone on. So down here we've got the actual outside electrical elements now plastered in. Got to scrape this back, some bits of spray on there, so we'll scrape those back. We've got an area up there, I'm pretty sure that's where a light's going on there. We've got a light going up there, and we've got to dig out this one because they buried it, but there's a camera going in that corner. So we've got a camera in there and a light up here. So this is obviously had the first coat of paint on it, which is quite nice, back to where as it was. It needs more on it, so I need to go and get some more paint. And on here's had the first sort of coat, so you can start seeing some of the blemishes and some of the marks. They're going to have to be sort of filled and sanded. Quite scrapey on this one here, normally means that there's been a bit more of a grit used rather than a stone. Bit of a weird one. But anyway, is that well, Crete? Let's look after that. So at the moment where we are at the moment, there's no great change. We've got the plumber here, so the pump's now been set up properly. We're now cooking on gas where that's concerned. We've got to sort out the boiler downstairs because we still can't get the circulation and the hot water sorted there, so we're going to have a look at that. The guys are obviously in there now working on downstairs. We're actually getting some of the doorways sorted out as well, just getting them tightened up a little bit until the windows arrive. We obviously don't know how long that's going to be before the windows arrive, but they are still on the water. So I think this is the second week, isn't it? I think. So they should be here very shortly. So we've got that going on as we speak. And then we've probably got around about a week to 2 weeks worth of clearance to go through as well, which is a bit of a pain in the backside. Sherman's actually touching up obviously the door frames over there. And then we're going to give this front piece a whole new coat on there, because now we've actually done the top piece, we've now got a very different in colour that we've had obviously a bit of mortar and a bit of dust and everything on there, so we're going to have to give that whole front a whole new coat. So they're just trying to make the actual inserts a little bit more pleasant to look at. As you can see, that one there's a bit awful. So we'll redo this one here. This is obviously going to be 2-piece in here, and the other side's been done as well. We'll take that strut out in the middle as well. Don't need that. And then the actual tube of the 8x4 sheets will sit on the actual on the wood at the bottom, and we'll get those in. Obviously the shower wall was done. These boys are deciding to do that rather than pumping, which is a bit weird. I personally would pump, but anyway, whatever floats your boat. And then tomorrow we've got the wall being done, so we've got 2 bricklayers coming tomorrow to do the wall, and they're also going to plaster the back of the cottage as well, which hasn't been done. There's still one thing we've had outstanding, so that's going to be done very shortly. I'll speak to the cleaner about stuff putting mops up against the wall. It's creating some weird marks. So anyway, I need to go and sort the board right downstairs, because we've now worked out that we need to get another pump put in and just change a couple of functions on there, but we're pretty much good to go on that. And then I need to go and get some more paint, because we've run out of primer. We thought we had more primer and we've run low, so I need to go and get some more of that, and then we can finish off the garage at the front. Other than that, kitchen guys, I told you, came in, did a few bits and bobs early, which is good. The main aim at the moment, I say, is to get the wall done tomorrow, get the plastering done tomorrow. We're still waiting for the jacks to come down, which is a pain in the backside. So we've got a good sort of 10 days or so to go before we can take them down. And once they're down, we can start putting stuff down and painting and plastering and finishing off. So we'll have an empty structure. What we're aiming to try and do, if I can, is to get a bobcat in here at some stage this week. If I can try and get a bobcat in here, then we can be backfilling the soil over there. We can obviously be levelling this off. We can be getting a lot of the actual garbage that's laying out crewing down here. We can get rid of that. And we can also get a lorry to come in and take the rubbish away as well. So obviously it's still only 2:30, so I'll update you throughout the day. So please like and subscribe whilst you're on. Please help me out, get the message out there. Other than that, I will check in the next hour or so. Okay, so we're just kicking on 5 o'clock. The guys are all gone. Just thought I'd give you a quick overview at the very end. What have we done today? Okay, so the plumbers have actually ran the water. Sorry about the wind. They've run the waterway around the side. Unfortunately, it's a bit of a mess. It's not what I would have done. I would have run it through the actual building itself, or at least dug that down. But anyway, it looks like we're going to have to dig that out and try and get that looking a little bit more pleasant. All the internals have been reset. When I say internals, all of these, just to get them a little bit more straighter, and they're going to paint them in, because we don't know how long the doors are going to take to get here. So we're just sort of trying to do this to make it look a little bit more pleasant. So that's quite nice of the guys to do that. We've got to get all this stuff downstairs at some stage. We've had another couple of coats on here, and all the little chips on here that have been where people have been running wood up and down. It's been chiselled off. That's all been reset. So that's all good. I'm going to get these reset as well tomorrow, just so that obviously they're all a little bit more firm on the floor and no one's going to break their neck. As I said, all that's been done in here, which is good. Around the side of the building's been finished off as well. So yeah, it's been nothing really changed since I've reported in last. The guys have actually so this is looking nice. This is all finished off white. So tomorrow I'm going to go and get more paint. We're going to get over here sorted out as well. I want that looking as nice as possible. Bear in mind, it's only just been finished on the plaster front. Tomorrow we have the guys coming in to do the wall, so that will be quite good to get that started and finished in one day, if only. I reckon they get the blocks up in one day. It'll probably be a couple of days. They get the blocks up. It's already started getting the blocks there for them. The blocks will be up tomorrow, no problems at all. And then the following day will be plastering, I would have thought. And then what I want them to do the day after that is behind here we need to get the back of the cottage plastered. So around the back of there's a few holes from services that have been running, like electrics or drainage. So we're going to have to start by getting some of those filled in. I'll probably get the guys working on that tomorrow so it doesn't delay the guys. I'll show you what I mean. So we've got some ventilation holes here that are originally there to the downstairs storage area. We've got some drainage and some guttering and some electrics that are still open up from inside, where they've been obviously they've forgotten about them, so they've had to run them from behind. Another vent hole here. Then we've got the irrigation that's been done today, obviously to the tanks. If the tanks overflow, then they let out water here. There's only one been done, so I'm assuming, never assume, but I'm assuming that's because only one tank is filling at the moment. So if that's the case, we need another one, or we need to run it to here. So I would have thought if they overflow, we're going to need 2 separate overflows. And again, the water mains going into the building needs to be sorted as well. And this hash running down here, sorry George, but it is a hash. I mean, the mains water pipe is just dangling along the wall here, so we've got to brace it up properly. We've got some plastic clips that seriously aren't manning us. We need to get some proper stainless steel, some form of clips that are going to stand the salt and the wind and the heat. And we need to obviously get this set in properly and get it buried properly as well. And obviously it then follows around the building and does what it does. But anyway, the guys are going to obviously are going to plaster all around here. So obviously it's been plastered up to here, obviously. So we need to get these openings sorted out, and then obviously then the guys can crack on with spending some time getting that plastered. The rest of the building obviously has been done. It's just finishing off this corner and running straight down the side. So yeah, that's going to be one of our plans tomorrow. So it's the guard wall first, which is a priority for my neighbour, not for me. It is long term, obviously, but obviously with what we have going on at the moment on the complex, the wall's really not a priority for me at the moment. But we need to get that done. So that will be done tomorrow. Once that's done, then we can start we can get all this painted in the meantime. So anything that we can paint, we can start cracking on with here. So I'm probably going to get a lick of paint put all the way around this building completely tomorrow and the day after. But initially obviously the priority today has been obviously just getting some of the actual nooks and nicks done. That corner's been replastered there because that was not good, so that's been done. The parapet at the front at the top's been sorted. So now they're all drying off. We can literally go over them with a couple of rocks just to make sure we smooth them off. And then it's literally getting a primer coat on there paint wise. Tomorrow we're also going to take these out. These were put in at a bit of a hastily work. So we need to take those out, take this one out as well. The windows are en route, but we're going to get in some nice plies. We're going to cut one of them in half. That's a 2-foot window there, so we'll put a news piece in there, paint it white both sides, so we actually get the top sealed in and both sides are looking nice. This one here is actually a 6x8, so we'll get a full sheet in there and the other 2 foot from the sheet that we cut from that. We'll have 2 nice pieces put in there and we'll paint them both sides. This one on the inside, the outside's a bit of a mess anyway, but on the inside it's not even been painted, so it would be nice to start looking at something a bit more pleasant than a very rough brown bit of formwork. So we'll get those in there tomorrow as well, get those painted in, and then start getting the whole building painted all the way around. That's our aim for tomorrow, as well as sticking a lick of grey all on the front of this. So I want this as nice as possible. And the only reason why we're farting around with some of this, by the way, is that we've got a party on Saturday. Got a few people coming over, and I would just like the outside to start looking a bit more presentable. So not that the party should be any reason to do it, we just want it done anyway, but when people are coming over, it's nicer to try and focus on that sooner rather than later. Apart from that, it's a case of I need to try and get a bobcat in. If anyone knows anybody decent on the island that's got a good, reliable bobcat and a decent driver, let me know. The last couple of companies I've used, one has just got an unreliable bobcat. Every time they come out, it just breaks down. And the last guy did an all right job, but then was meant to come back 2 days later and never turned up. So if anyone knows anybody on the island that's any good, let me know. Put it in the comments below or send me some links or some company names. Ideally, what I want to try and do is get some of these jacks repositioned tomorrow, Thursday, and get a bobcat through here. And I want all of this scraped out, levelled, and looking a little bit more like a garden rather than a not even a bomb site. It looks pretty awful. But anyway, I want to try and make it look a little bit more pleasant. So if anybody knows any good bobcat companies, let me know. Other than that, another day over on planet Earth. Please help me with liking and subscribing below. The more you like and subscribe, the better for me and for everyone else that's obviously trying to benefit from the island. You wouldn't believe how many people have come up to me in the streets over the last sort of 2 to 3 weeks and said, I watch your videos, and so it's getting out to a lot of people. And at the same time, it's also helping us try and hold some tradespeople accountable for some of the poor workmanship or unreliability. And it's also helping us just get some of the things out there that we're doing well that people aren't used to here on the island. So the more people that like and subscribe and comment, the more people get to see it, and the more I get help, and other people on the island do as well. The other thing we're looking for as well, anybody got any good recommendations? We're looking for some form of shelter shade to go over here. We've had a couple of the sail stroke canopy companies out to give us a quote. One was astronomical. We're not looking to cover the whole ground. We're looking for something ideally to go from halfway through the building, so here, from back here over to here, and we're looking for it to come out and try and cover about 25 to 50% of the patio, just so that when the windows are open, we can come out and we can socialise in a barbecue stroke table and chairs type scenario there. It doesn't have to be the whole thing. So any ideas or any companies that you guys can recommend, let me know. Someone that does canvas or sails, someone that does general sort of shading. We would consider some form of electric canopy, but I'm not too sure that's right for us, certainly with the height we have. So anybody got any ideas, let us know. In England, it's quite cheap. You can buy them in sort of 10 foot, 15 foot, 20 foot and 25 foot sort of triangles. They don't last very long, obviously, but at the same time, they're not designed to. They're designed just to keep shade off, and they're designed to come down for part of the year. But here, maybe they won't be the right material. But anyone that's got any recommendations on the material, the solution, the company, then let us know. Comments below. Other than that, another day over. I will check in tomorrow. Have a great evening.